It's me, Snippo here, and welcome back to another video. The super easy A's for these two units are coming up. I mean, we know that. Next week. And these are gonna be legendary, bro. You had to be there. The second year of Dokkan, the second year releases were very hype, were very good, very amazing. So I decided to do a super easy A concept for both of them. The first time I've actually done something like this, and I mean, I've done something like this before when I was like 12. I remember I was on some random ass Discord making Dokkan fan concepts, but nothing seriously. Now, my goal for designing these were to make them a replacement, first of all, for the 4th year, so make them do a lot of damage, but be able to be a very nice slot 2 or 3. Now, I don't know if I've succeeded in this, because making kits is actually pretty hard, and balancing it out. So I try to balance it to not make them too broken, but also like very good. So here's what I've went with for the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I upped the key and... Wait. I have an idea. This way, we can compare it to the normal Easy A. Okay. So the normal Easy A is just this. Very bare bones. Attack 150%, defense 120%. When attacking, 40% attack, medium chance of nullifying and countering. Now, I've changed basic effects to key +3 and attack and defense 250%. Usual. Giant A power category allies attack 40% for 2 turns. I wanted to do something like the Vegeta and put it in its own category, but it doesn't matter too much where this shit lies. It's like in how good they are. Medium chance of evading enemies' attack, which is 30%. Guards all attacks and launches 2 additional super attacks. Because I just like this, okay? I just added this because I like it when they just do this. Now, when attacking with 12 or more key, attack 250%. Attacks are effective against all types to do damage. When receiving an attack, defense 200%. I copied this from the G4 just because the units need this nowadays with the AoEs. When receiving a normal attack, chance of evading enemies' attack 44% temporarily. Now, this is from the VB's Super Easy A kit, straight ripped out of that, so it means 77% when you receive a normal attack. And we can go over the stats in a minute, but first of all, I want to talk about both the kits. The reason for this is because I want this unit, the design philosophy I went with, I want this guy to start out defensively weaker than the Vegeta, but because of this, they both have the 30% in their kit. This guy raises his defense by 30% for 6 turns, while Vegeta does this with his attack. So I kind of went with that and tried to build upon that by making it so that the Goku starts out weakly or like weaker defensively, but stronger offensively. But through the when attacking and stacking defense, he becomes better defensively, while Vegeta becomes better offensively. And yeah, I hope that this is I think that I succeeded in this, not entirely, but yeah. I just upped this to high chance of nullifying it and countering with tremendous power, which is also which also adds nicely to this. The reason I did this in a space kit and then this for normals is because I think that counters and nullifying is before dodging, because it's generally better. So 50% of the time you don't dodge or you don't nullify the super attack. Then there's also like the 30% chance to evade. So there's like a 35% chance of getting hit. Now with normals, I wanted to be a little bit higher as well, because normals right now are like really the bad part. And a high chance of nullifying and countering is because with the 4th years, which have a medium chance, I see them countering all over the place. So I thought the high chance is a nice balance. So yeah, that's what I did with this guy. What I did with this guy is basically copy and paste this kit. And by the way, he had the exact same kit. They both had the exact same kit. Now, what I did differently is, first of all, he buffs defense 40% for 2 turns, where this guy only attack. By the way, Giant Ape Power, because Giant Ape Power has been built up over the past year. And we're gonna get Diamond stuff surely someone. And then Giant Ape Power support comes in clutch. Damage reduction rate 20% instead of dodge. This is also because this guy can build up defense, while he will have a start of turn defense. So yeah. Then I have guards all attacks for both, because they need guard, bro. Launches 2 additional super attacks. Then this is the exact same. And then here, this is the only difference, the only other difference. When receiving a normal attack, damage reduction rate 30% temporarily, so 50%. Now, this guy will start out better defensively, especially since he gets greatly raises defense for super attacks, and since he's guaranteed 3 super attacks, that means 1.5 or like 2.5 times his defense gets multiplied 2.5 times. So after he supers, he is pretty much not invincible, but very, very like invincible to normals pretty much, but he can still get caught by supers. While this guy, at the beginning, he can be caught at the beginning, and he can be caught he can be caught in the beginning when he doesn't dodge, but he builds up, and his start of turn defense will soon outclips this guy. And that was kind of my design philosophy with this guy. So yeah, I think that works pretty well, because we can go into the stats here. I prepared this cheat here. The stats are all with these links. So all these links, which is 90% attack, 30% defense. Support is with the AGL4 coup, on rotation plus super attack. AGL G4, which also gives defense. And super easy STRs within for Vegeta. Now, keep in mind that they both support each other in my calcs, which means that their numbers are a little bit higher than they would usually be, the supported numbers. Okay, so the supported numbers, take them with a grain of salt. Okay, so I want to go over, first of all, because we were talking about it, start of turn defense. Start of turn 760k is not too good. Even with guard, it's not too good. And this is with the when receiving an attack defense boost. So that was like my like, he can tank some AoEs, but he would rather like just dodge. But after he built up a little bit, so for example, after 3 supers, he's already at 1.4 million. And he will have these 1.4 million at the start of turn. 6 supers, 2.1 million. 8 supers, 2.5 million. So 8 supers is if he would get in like a hidden potential system additional for 2 turns in a row. And then 12 supers, which is if he got... this wouldn't be start of turn because it's for 6 turns. So it means if you get 4 supers, you will have... Or like if you get 3 supers, you will have this defense here at the start of turn, you know, the 1.4 million. If you super another 3 times at that turn, the next turn you will have 2.1 million. And then if you super another 3 times, you will, or like another 3 times, you will have like 2.7 million or something. But only for that turn, because then your stacks get reset, you know? That's something to keep in mind. Here's supported, which is not even ridiculous support, because you want to run this guy, that's what I designed him to be, on G4's team. So he will probably always get the support. Now, I only have one G4 support, even though you can have two G4 supports active. So these defensive stats could go even higher, but I wanted to keep it realistic. So start of turn, 1.25 million with guard is pretty good. Then after supering 3 times, 2.3 million, very good. 6 times, 3.5, 8 times, 4.2, and 12 times, 5.8 or 5.7. Although you're not going to see this too often or rarely. I would say these two are like more in the ballpark of what he's going to be looking like. And 3 to 4 million defense with guard, pretty good, especially considering he has countering and dodge. Now his attack stats here, pre-super means a counter before he supers, 19 million, because I gave them attacks are effective against all types. The reason for that is I gave them crit originally, but then their attack stats were just way too high. Like their ATP was way too high. 3 supers in 1 turn. That's 153.8 million, which is not too much higher than the 4th years, and that's what you're gonna likely see. And they don't have an active skill, so they don't have an active skill turn. So that's why I also made their ATP quite high. This guy's ATP is quite high turn 1. And now if you get 3 supers plus a counter, you get 200 million, and then 4 supers plus a counter, 270 million. Now when you're supported, he can go up to like nearly 300 million. No, this is a very you're not going to see this too often, but it's also not going to be too rare. I'd say that these are like more in the ballpark of what he's going to do. He's going to do probably anywhere from 170 to 250 million ATP. That's roughly where I see him most of the time. And keep in mind, the unsupported still has his 40%, because he always will have himself. And he will always be Giant A power, you know? There. He will always be Giant A power. So, yeah, I included that. So, keep that in mind. And the thing is, with unsupported, the Vegeta here will also have his defense support built in. So, yeah. Now, if we look at the Vegeta, first of all, his links. He has a little bit more attack with his links. Now, his defense, start of turn is looking better, 1 million. He has guard and 20% damage reduction, plus 30% when he's getting attacked by normal, which means he will most likely be fine with AoEs. But there's a reason I built him that way, because he will start out with this, and like this will be his defense for the whole game, because he doesn't stack. Then after 3 supers, 2.5 million. After 4 supers, 3 million. And with defense, you start out with 1.5 million roughly. Or like with support, I mean. 1.5 roughly. Which nothing is gonna really catch you off guard. Like no AoE or normal should catch you off guard here. And then after 3 supers, you have 3.7 million. 4 supers, 4.5 million. Now, if you want to get that like in context, let me take this stat value here, because that's what you're pretty much guaranteed to get if you use them. I just input some stuff here, and let's assume he has his 50% damage reduction up. That means with this he can tank, or not tank, but he can take 10 million normals. There are no 10 million normals in like any normal game, or like in any normal turn, or like boss. And he can tank like 9.5, I think. No, not 9.5. He can tank 9 million. 9 million normals. Now this is only normals. With supers, it's looking a little bit different if we give him 20% damage reduction. He can tank He can tank like 5.5 million supers. But he could, if worst comes to worst, like take an 8 million. Take 1.8 million. But yeah, that's what the counter should do and should be for. So yeah, he's pretty good when it comes to normals. Yeah, and as you can see, his attack here pre-super, he is weaker. Turn 1, he is weaker. If we compare it to the Goku, turn 1 unsupported, he does 150 million, while he does 120 million. Supported, he has 150 million, while he does 170 million. 3 supers plus a counter, he does 200 million. 4 supers, he does 270 million. Which here, this is the same 4 supers plus the counters, 211 million. And then by the second turn, he is already approaching his numbers. While already eclipsing him on being supported. The reason for that, I think, is because of his attack stats. Or like his attack stacking. Why his counter, like his counter is probably better. Or maybe I made a mistake. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I just made a mistake. But yeah, by turn 3, he is going to be stronger. But that's going to be turn 3 optimal. Even if it's suboptimal, I think he should outpace him by that time already. But yeah. And if we want to know what he can tank, let's say supported 8 supers. Which is quite a realistic scenario. He would be tanking like 5 million. Yeah, 5 million, but he could take up to like 7 million with 700k damage. But now let's say if you have the 5 million, 730k, then he would be able to tank 7 million, and he'd be able to take like a 9 million. And if we add the 10% damage reduction from the 4Ku to it, then he could be tanking about 8 million. Or not tanking, but like it seems 7.8, so roughly 8 million. And he could survive like a 10 million. If we also want to do that with the Vegeta here, giving him also the benefit of the doubt. Let's say at his best, at his absolute best, how does he perform? And we give him 50% damage reduction because we assume it's a normal. Then he can tank at 11 million. And we give him an extra 10% damage reduction from the 4Ku. Then he could be tanking up to 13.5 million normals, which are not in the game. But let's see, 30% for 4Ku. Then he could be tanking 7.5 million supers. And he could take like a 10.5 million super for 750k damage. So that's what I built him on, like that they can tank normals or maybe like just survive normals, get out of the way, and struggle with supers, which they have a mechanic against though. You know, this guy has a dodge and counter, but this guy has the damage reduction. Now, personally, I think that this is not too extremely crazy, but it's enough. It's enough to give them what they deserve, you know? Yeah, what do you guys think? This is like the first time I really sat down and tried to make a balanced kit. And I quite had a lot of fun with it, to be honest. Designing this kit was hella fun, to be honest. I think I want to do this kind of stuff more now. Because it just gives you something to do. It just gives you something to brainstorm on. And I just like calculating numbers. I had to recalculate these numbers a whole lot because I kept changing the kit. So they might just be messed up. But it's somewhere around the ballpark, okay? I'm not somebody... Like, I'm not a ATP calc person, defense calc person. So sometimes maybe I change to... I failed to change a number, or I calculated it differently. Don't take these too serious. Don't take this video too serious. I'm not predicting what they're actually going to be like. This is just what I think could be nice in a reality. Because I'm not going to predict anything, you know? Who knows what they're gonna do, because the kit of them is so bare bones, they're gonna have to rewrite it entirely. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do. I just took inspiration from other units kits and built them for the current specific events right now, which is like you're struggling with normals and you need to find a way to like counter or evade like super attacks. So yeah, that's what I did. What do you guys think about these kits? Do you think they're good enough? Do you think they're bad? Is there some feedback you can give me on like how to create kits or like anything in this area? And yeah, see you guys in the next video. Or maybe you can show me your kits. That would also be cool. If you have any kits, I would also like to see that. Inspiration would be cool. So yeah, see you guys in the next video. Bye, like and subscribe.